It's not clean enough. Well, I have to live with it. I'm going to go with the plumber again. There's a plumber who replaced the kitchen sink fixture, and I don't want to use it for what I just did to the pot, which is touch the inside, because I thought I saw discoloration. Like I wondered if it could be washed off, maybe with some extra soap. I've not been using dish soap because I can't afford to get more. I need it only if it's an emergency, and I don't want the emergency that I cook for myself. I eat alone, and it's pretty much clean to me. I just need the food washed off so it's clean. This soap would be only if I want to use it from time to time, but I could use it every day because I love soap, but I don't because it's homeless. Okay, this is the Lipton I'm making today. So I use 1.5 bottles for Lipton. The Knorr soup I was using 2 bottles. So this will be half. I think my mouth looks a little different since I've been eating lighter. I eat soup and then some other snacks maybe, but I'm running out. Yeah, I'm running out of supplies here to be here. My mouth looks fuller when I eat dinner, and I don't have dinner right now. Okay, I'm turning the stove on. I'm off on the motion here. This has water spots on it, so that's why I'm saying I'm turning the stove on, but I have my hands right here. Okay, so I'll set the lid down. It just moved the pot. Yeah. That was, well, I don't know if the camera caught that. I'm going to say no. I saw something the camera didn't catch. I set down the lid and it went off center. I think it's okay now. Okay, so I'm turning it to number 7, from high down to 7. So then I skipped the threatening that I said. High, 9, 8, 7. So see how we all don't speak English when we're talking to one another about who is oneself. We don't speak English because we don't have the threatening that we speak English with the creation of oneself that way. We don't that way. So I just had a small run-in with Mitch. He sent Amazon delivery, and I said I didn't order from Amazon, not since the last delivery that did not go well for me. It wasn't worth the money to me to have a delivery from Amazon because they didn't give me everything I needed in one delivery. And I needed a lot of things from Amazon, and I didn't get most of it. So did Mitch place the order? And I don't know how. I think he would place the order for all the things I need, but I don't ask for them because you don't understand. Your problem with ask is you don't have things set. And it's true that you just ask me for everything I've ever asked for, but I work. You're not supposed to ask me for what I asked for because I asked for it because it's not really paid for to you because I'm not yourself. I work. And you're not working me by asking me for what I have. Where you're thieving. I work, you thieve. You can't work because I work. You might have to be called slaves and servants because you don't actually work for deceasement. You are slaves and servants to your mental capacities are illegal. Well, you work for money that we can't both work. What is this, the fuck? I am none higher than me deceased. I don't need you to work for me. Do you owe something or you don't? Everybody get out of public. Go to jails and prisons so that I can help myself to what I need. If I need something, I'll call a jail and prison and get somebody escorted over to someplace to do something for me. But why? Why would I take you out of a jail and a prison when you're clearly dangerous and that's where you belong? You don't have the prejudice required to be in the public buildings. You have illegal live genital penis and the illegal live castration of the penis female. Those are illegal and they don't form the buildings that you go through, you stay in, you use, you're inside of, you go out of, you traffic around them buildings, and additionally the houses. Those are illegally alived and illegally formed by the dong genital deceased. That means you can't work because you have a penis, or you have an illegal feminine castration of a penis as a female. So that's illegal. Elsewhere, if there were dong genital with females, the females are castrations of the dong genital, and they are females that way. And in this world, the female is a castration of a penis and is female that way. I received a text message from Mitch saying that he sent me a text message timestamp 4:13 p.m. If I'm not mistaken, is that correct? Okay, and then I looked at my own record of the timestamps that I have, and the earliest text message I have in the 4 o'clock hour of 4 p.m. hour would be 4:20 p.m. That's what I sent him in the text message, a screenshot of the phone. I have two phones. And he sent me a response to that screenshot. What's it called? Oh, it was a photograph because I used the camera. It wasn't a screenshot like it was already on the phone. It was a photograph. I used another camera to send it. Why didn't I use a screenshot? I didn't. One of my phones doesn't have a screenshot. That's why. Okay. This phone that I'm using right now has the screenshot. The one that is charging at this time, that one has no screenshot. So I had to use the camera to send the phone information, like appearing screen. Okay. And then the response I got from Mitch was something like, the time difference of where he is. Time would be 2 hours ahead, so 6 p.m. hour. And when for myself, it's the 4 p.m. hour. And I just sent him the emoji. Is that what it's called, emoji? Because it's not moving, it's a still image. It was an image of an eye that looks like a caption, as if something was speaking. I'm sorry, it's in my Gboard, where you go in and it could be like a figure of a gymnastics person, or someone downhill skiing, or someone snowboarding, or someone like a smiley face head or a heart or something, those little things that you select that you can send. And I sent one that indicates that I saw his text message and my eye doesn't really speak. That means my mouth doesn't have anything to say about what I can see with my eyes. It also has other meanings. It's a emoji, you have to look at it. That's the best I can describe it right now. Okay, the soup, I'll get it. I hear God above myself made some threatening that only I can hear, but he is omniscient and omnipotent and omnipresent up there. Right here, I'm in order, so I don't do that while I'm in order. But there was nothing really to say to Mitch about the money. Now I have to wash my hands because I touched my nose. I owe a hand washing, but I don't want to. I'm cooking for myself and I want to wash my hands, and there is some soap I can use, but it's not really true that I would do that for myself, but I know the camera is on, so I would do it for the camera because I don't touch my face when I'm touching food, and especially preparing the food. So I owe that I wash my hands, but again, the plumber has been here. He didn't give me another apartment I could live in where I can wash my hands as much as I want. And if I need another sink fixture, the plumber will come and fix it at his own expense. I don't have a plumber that would do that. That's what a plumber is. Otherwise, it's a hostager. And the plumber is not on that level with myself. The steam is hot. Yes, it is. I'm trying to get there's some soup base on the bottom here, soup mix. Okay, I think that's it. I want all the taste, yeah, because it's good. I'm hoping for a better cooking smell or aroma. I normally don't like the Lipton smell. It smells like a paper bag, huh? So, I am homeless in the threatening. I need to stir the soup with this spoon that fell on the floor. I have something wrong with everything and nobody's coming to pay for it. You're all trying to maintain your mental constitution and composition. But I don't really like it myself because I don't want to use a cooking utensil that's been on the floor. That's disgusting, but I'm doing it. I'm using it. I washed it myself, but it's not enough to wash it. I need a new one. Yep, and I don't have a new one because there's nothing wrong with you, according to you. And there's nothing wrong with me, according to me. For everyone who thinks they have their own money, so did I have my own money, but I don't have it myself anymore because you don't have any property boundaries. It's not my money to me the way that you treat me. And I've seen the way you treat the money, and I don't have property boundaries is not true. I have them, and you don't leave that I have boundaries about that you might be in the motion of doing something wrong to myself, but I don't really stop you because I'm not going to jail for you. I don't say that until it's deceased here. I said I'm not going to jail when I was homeless. Because I was homeless, I could have turned myself into jail for being homeless, but I didn't because I have ever been threatening. I'm not going to jail for you my whole life. You make all sorts of problems that belong in prisons, and you don't know how to get from a problem to jail to prison. You just don't know how to get there. Like you know how to get a sexual climax in the presence of an enemy. That's mentally impossible from my point of view. Yep. And you also you know how to attack somebody who doesn't know you. You know how to feed children who don't know you, like give them food or drive them around in a car and they can't drive, and you tell them to get in the car and they're not supposed to hear that because you're supposed to get in the car and get out and never come back. Yep, you don't actually know how to treat people in your own creator. You don't know what teachers are. You don't know how teachers are disqualified, most of them, because they're illegal. And they put me through undue stress and pressure because in the end all you cared about was that you were going to take my keys. And when I was in front of all the teachers in the schools, the teachers were all hostage my keys, and I don't learn that way. I have mental problems and learning disabilities because the teachers were hostage my keys, and you don't understand that about yourselves. But why? I realize I'm here in the bottom of the threatening. This is world number 17, not world number 1. It's world number 17, and it's due deceased to myself, and I'm finding everything illegal, but I'm not supposed to find that you don't care. I'm not supposed to find that you pressure on doing illegal action on the threatening when you've been in the revelation that you are alone in the wrong. Well, I am here to enlighten you, and it is enlightenment undesirable. You have an undesirable enlightenment. You don't want to know what's wrong with you, because what's wrong with you is not anything anyone wants to keep. Unfortunately, it's bad news for you with yourself, because you are yourself. If you ever thought you would see God in your lifetime, did you think He would tell you that He gives you His approval? And if you see God in your lifetime and you don't expect that out of Him because you are malicious and you think that it is against Himself, would you expect Him to say nothing? Do you tell Him that He doesn't know who He is? That's like having a father who goes into dementia and you put him in an old age home. I was that problem when I was 3 years old. You want to put me in an institution, a mental hospital problem? You want me to leave my house? I have to turn the heat down. I'm going to turn it down to 4. It's been boiling too much, I think. I need all the water in the pot. I have a little extra, but I don't want to use it because I want to drink it. I love drinking with thirst. I have thirst, and when I drink on time with thirst, what I desire to drink with the thirst, and it goes together. It feels so good, and I love it. But I am being murdered. What's wrong with you? You think I feel that way about sexual climax in the presence of an enemy, and I was wondering why you're not afraid of me yet. The one who is doing it, well, you don't do that to everyone in public. That's what's wrong with you. But the rest of you are living off of itself. You're elsewhere. You didn't put yourself in jails and prisons and be sorry until you find out, within yourself why you're in jails and prisons might be yourself and additionally exteriorly located myself. If you're not nice to God, you might never know. That should matter. It should be about whether, let's say you're in a jail, or let's say you're already in a prison. If you're in a prison and you've been in there for a year, if you are in your own prejudice and you're needing to know with your God how you're going to get a death out of the prison because you really don't want to be there anymore, He may not even mention me, which is why you're not supposed to be near me physically. You're not supposed to be anywhere near myself. You're not supposed to be near my house. And you can't do anything against myself because it's true, if you were just one of the many that are elsewhere, like the big public that there is, including they don't all speak English, even if you were in union with your God, that you were in a prison, that you wanted to die an unclean death in prison with your God on His points, He would not say, oh, I have a Godhead who's alive, and it's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the address is... That wouldn't help you to get a death on yourself. And it wouldn't be anything that you would be loving with your God about it if you were loving with your God because you had an anger problem with Himself on one of His points about somebody else. About Him being present in your life for you. I don't know anyone who's gone to jail and prison, so you don't have to worry. If you're embarrassed that I might know about you being in jail and prison, that will come later anyway, because if you don't go by yourself like a big boy, if you don't go to jail and prison on your own, I'm going to put you in there with myself is no longer alive. Well, that's how, when I'm not alive anymore, you go to jail and prison no matter what. That's why you need to go on your point, and you can't just be trying to exploit the public, because God doesn't waste his time. He's asking you why you're in the public in all the many ways that he has asked you over 45 years of my life, and you don't hold a life continuously for 45 years like I do. You have illegal shunning that is due in a prison, and you should have put your shunning in jail and prison. And good luck trying to get in there by telling a police officer you need to use the jail's keys because you shun, and the police officer didn't see it himself, and it's hard for you to get into a jail with that problem already in commotion. That means you're already wrong, you're already shunning, and you can't prove it to somebody who would open the jail for you and let you shun in a jail. That means you don't know your point, but that is one. It is a point because you're shunning and you can't prove it. Your shunning is a point to yourself. It's true you don't hold alive and you're doing something against yourself and you don't know it, and you need to be elsewhere in an emergency, to be elsewhere urgently, because you're shunning and you're not holding alive and you don't know what's wrong with you. It would be like if you had a credit card and the interest was running on the credit card, and they were sending you statements every 30 days that your interest went up on the credit card. That's what's wrong with shunning. So, for example, if you make a purchase on a credit card for $1,000 and you have a $100,000 limit on your credit card, that means you're going to get a statement the next month that says you are owe the money. Then the next month you're getting a statement that the money went up by, let's say, 25%. So you owe 25% on something you never paid on before. So it's $1,000, up it by 25%. And then the following month you didn't pay that payment. Then you have the $1,000 plus the interest of the 25% on the $1,000, and then it will be added interest after that. You have to pay another 25% on that 1,000. If it's how much is 1,000 and 25% interest? $250. So it's $1,250 with 25% interest. So then you have to pay that the next month, and then it's 25% interest on that, which would be like, I can't do the math because it's illegal. It's not true that it figures out. I can't do it mentally, so I'm telling you that's illegal about the credit card statements. And then if you don't see that, that means you don't know your problem is even worse. Yeah, it's worse than that. So every month it goes 25% on the previous balance, and that's just, you can't pay that ever because you stole something. That means you don't know what you stole is not true. You might know in that scenario, you know what you paid for on the credit card until so much time passes. You might even throw it away, that you bought something and you threw it away, or you stopped using it, or it's exhausted, and you don't need it anymore. So that's how your interest will still go up after that. You still owe the money because you stole it. And that's what's wrong with you being a shunning problem. That means you also, if you shun your whole body, you don't know where you are when you're alive. You're not alive that way with the shunning, but if you come back to life after that, that means you stole something. You didn't die of the shunning. That means you're in public with the address, you stole something, and you can't do that. And if somebody says you died after you shunned so much, that's your fault. That's you shunning, and you didn't take your shunning to jail and prison so that somebody wouldn't report that you died in public. Because that's them having said that they think you died, but they don't know how you died. If it was a coroner who killed somebody, the coroner would know who and how, but wouldn't be able to tell somebody else because it doesn't have a name anymore. Like John Doe doesn't have a name anymore. That's what's wrong with what you are. You don't understand your problems with shunning and interest on a credit card, debt, and then you also don't understand that I am not here to tell you what the order is when it's too late. I'm stating the order that you treated me like one of you, and I don't have a life that way anymore. Nope, that's how I'm telling the camera what went wrong in my lifetime, and I'm posting it on the internet because the YouTube is really for myself. The creation of myself is creating YouTube for myself.